Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5-minute revision tool, and today we are going to do Lichen Planus. Now Lichen Planus is a chronic disease and it is commonly known as the 6 Ps because it produces purple, pruritic, polygonal papules which can have planar and plaque varieties. Now to understand Lichen Planus and why it is chronic and how the pathogenesis leads to the histopathology, let us quickly look at what Lichen Planus develops from. Lichen Planus usually has this kind of striated patterns. These are called as the reticular pattern. It can not only affect the oral mucosa but also the skin. Like you see here, the purple pruritic polygonal papules, and it can also affect the appendages like the nails. Hence the name mucocutaneous. That means mucous membrane as well as the skin are involved. The etiology is a very confusing element. So they say that it can be because of trauma or it can be because of some abnormal restorative material reaction or allergic conditions like toothpaste or a new mouthwash that has been given. It is also associated with certain viral infections, stress, anxiety, and emotional upset. Now, the whole concept of Lichen Planus is derived from a component which states that there is an unknown antigen. Now, let's draw the epithelium. Now, suppose this is the epithelium, and on top of the epithelium, we have some antigen. Now, this antigen, we don't know what that antigen is. It is called as Lichen Planus specific antigen, LPSA. So, we don't know what this is. So what happens is when this antigen is sitting inside this particular epithelium, so when antigen is present inside the epithelium, the antigen will elicit a response, and the response will usually be a T cell. And this T cell usually is attracted because of this particular antigen present on the keratinocytes. And these T cells will further produce cytokines, and this will attract more and more inflammatory cells. So you will see that the connective tissue is filled up with a lot of these inflammatory cells, and hence one of the histological feature is band of lymphocytes. And these band of lymphocytes is a characteristic features of the Lichen Planus. So we don't know what this antigen is, hence the first step is that the Lichen Planus specific antigen, we couldn't identify it. But this will trigger an immune reaction using the Langerhans cell activity. The Langerhans cells will further regulate the molecules like the cell adhesion molecules, the intercellular adhesion molecules, or the endothelial leukocyte adhesion molecules. Now these two adhesion molecules, they attract more and more lymphocytes and they are recruited into the submucosa. Now the basal keratinocytes also will produce this kind of adhesion molecules, and you can imagine that as a small wire. When a warship is present on a sea and the plane is landing on that, when the plane lands on that, there is a small hook that is produced by the aeroplane, and the aeroplane hangs onto the elastic band or a spring board that is available on the warship, and it stops. Similarly, these intracellular adhesion molecules, they are acting like those hooks. When the lymphocytes come there, they hold on to it and they recruit more and more. And this leads to a very characteristic recruitment of these lymphocytes more and more. So what happens? The basal cells which are there, they undergo degeneration in that particular region. So when the lymphocytes come, the basal cells produce a lot of enzymes. And these enzymes degenerate the basal cells in this region. As you can see in this figure, the lymphocytes have infiltrated into the epithelium and the basal cells have disappeared. And these basal cells which have disappeared, they undergo a hydropic apoptotic basal cell degeneration, which is the next characteristic feature of Lichen Planus. Basal cell degeneration. So what are the three important features of lichen planus? If someone asks you, the first one is band of inflammatory cell infiltrate, which leads to basal cell degeneration. And to protect the epithelium, you will have hyperkeratosis. These are the three characteristic features of lichen planus. So when you look at this hyperkeratosis, and keratinization is actually a whitish patch or a plaque. Now, this whitish patch or plaque can present itself in various patterns. If the patterns are in the form of, say, lines and striaes, right? So it is called as the reticular pattern. So you will have lines like this. So that means if the epithelium is there, the basal cells are degenerated in this region. This superficial area will not form keratin. The neighbor will form keratin. So which leads to this kind of striae pattern. It can also form papules, and this papular lichen planus will be small white dots, which are maximum of 1 millimeter, 0.5 to 1 millimeter in diameter. You can have extensive lesions like a plaque, and it also shows a very well-defined white plaque. Now, this is the common one which is to be differentiated with leukoplakia. And one of the common associations which we generally see with leukoplakia would be the presence of tobacco. Doesn't mean that lichen planus individuals do not chew tobacco, because since stress also precipitates lichen planus, tobacco is commonly associated with lichen planus also. Atrophic lichen planus is something in which the superficial epithelium is lost and it becomes red in color. So you will have red lesions. So here my differential diagnosis will be candida, erythroplakia, and even pemphigus. So atrophic as well as erosive lichen planus are very painful. And this pain, along with the possibility of peripheral striae, will give rise to a diagnosis of lichen planus. And a group of diseases on the gingiva is called as desquamative gingivitis. Desquamative gingivitis, which also includes pemphigus and pemphigoid inside that. Another characteristic feature of lichen planus is because of the basal cell degeneration, certain areas, the separation of the surface epithelium takes place. So you will have a bulla that is formed. And this bulla type of lichen planus is called as bullous lichen planus. You can have ulceration as well in cases of lichen planus. But that is not all. Lichen planus invariably will have a skin lesion, and you will have this purple pruritic polygonal papules which can have planar and plaque-like lesions. So one of the characteristic features is called as Koebnerization. Now, suppose you have a lesion like this which is itchy, and the person will itch and cause scratches in the skin. The lesions will start developing in that particular direction. So as you see here, the lesions are developing in the extensor surfaces of the elbow, and it spreads in this direction. This direction associated with trauma is called as Koebnerization. And Koebnerization is a characteristic feature which you will see that the lesions are developing in the shin of the particular individual. So let's quickly look at the histopathology. So the histopathology usually revolves around the concept of the basal cell degeneration. So let's have a look at what and all you see. So wherever there is basal cell degeneration, you can see the epithelium has a characteristic feature of a sawtooth shaped rete ridges. And since the basal cell degeneration is taking place, you will see that the spinous layer appears to be sitting on top of the basal cells itself. So it looks as though there's no basal cell. So how should the basal cell be usually? The basal cell is usually nice and cuboidal, sitting like this. But imagine if a polygonal cell sits on that with a large nucleus in that area. So this is called as the basal cell degeneration. Sometimes the basal cells will undergo apoptosis and you will get a pink dot in that basal cell region. This is called as the civet body. Sometimes this epithelial cell, which is apoptotic, will fall into the connective tissue and get surrounded by lot of immunoglobulins. This kind of appearance of immunoglobulins joined around the apoptotic body inside the connective tissue is called as the colloid body. So there is a subtle difference between the colloid body and the civet body. So both of them are apoptotic bodies, but if it is seen inside the epithelium, it is called as a civet body. But if it is seen inside the connective tissue with immunoglobulins, then we call it as colloid body. Colloid body. So whatever be it, you will see the basal cell degeneration, you will see apoptotic keratinocytes, and you will see hyperkeratosis. But the most characteristic feature, which is also called as the lichenoid reaction, is called as the band of inflammatory cell infiltrate. And the most important feature is there is no eosinophils. You can have neutrophils, you can have macrophages, you can have plasma cells, but you should not have eosinophils. When there is a presence of eosinophils, you tend to look for a differential diagnosis of lichenoid reaction instead of a lichen planus. So that will be one of my differential diagnosis for lichen planus. So let's look at the clinical features now, since that we know the pathogenesis. So who gets this kind of a stressful life? Usually the middle-aged individuals, and women tend to have a little more predilection of lichen planus than male. And this kind of middle-aged population who are in a constant stress, maybe a financial stress or a marriage stress or personal stress, you should be able to elicit that in a history. And the most common sites involved would be the extensor surfaces of the forearm, wrist, etc. But in the oral cavity, you will have it in the buccal mucosa. You can also have it on the tongue or on the gingiva. And this kind of a striae, which is seen like a reticular pattern, is called as a Wickham striae, also called as the Honiton lace pattern. That is one more way of looking at it. Honiton lace pattern. So the most common issue here is my lymphocytes, which are invading. So the characteristic treatment would be to reduce the inflammation by use of corticosteroids. But immune modulant medications like levamisole and more recently turmeric or curcumin is also utilized for treatment of lichen planus. Commonest differential diagnosis would be the other lichenoid tissue patterns, like the lichenoid reaction because of a presence of allergic condition. So when you speak about lichenoid reaction, one characteristic syndrome that we should discuss would be the Greenspan syndrome. Now, Greenspan syndrome is thought to have been associated with lichen planus, diabetes mellitus, and hypertension. But because of the medications of diabetes and hypertension, there is a lichenoid reaction instead of a lichen planus. And the Graham-Little syndrome, vulvovaginal gingival syndrome, all these are superimposed associations, or maybe a reaction to the medications that are taking place. The other lesion which has a lichenoid tissue reaction pattern is the systemic lupus erythematosus and discoid lupus erythematosus, which will have a perivascular inflammatory infiltrate. Lichenoid tissue reaction pattern, the differential would be the presence of eosinophils and a diffuse band. Diffuse band. A well-defined band will be the feature of lichen planus. All right, so this was a quick revision which you have seen. Let's have a look at one or two of the questions and test yourself on the app regularly. What is the difference between lichen planus and lichenoid reaction? So let's have a look at it. Does lichenoid reaction have a liquefactive degeneration? Yes, it does. Does it have Wickham striae? Yes, it does. Does it have neutrophils? Yes, possibly. But diffuse infiltration of lymphocytes is a very characteristic feature. This is a feature of both. Whereas diffuse inflammatory cell infiltrate of lymphocytes is a differentiating feature of lichenoid reaction. A well-defined band is lichen planus, diffuse is lichenoid reaction. Okay, so here's a quick example of that. So if I give you a pen and ask you to draw the lower border, you can very clearly draw it. This is how it is, right? But in a lichenoid reaction, you will not be able to identify the same. All right. Let's look at one more question. What are Wickham striae and what is the reason for these? So Wickham striae are nothing but grayish white lines. So earlier the teachers used to say that always carry a magnifying lens to identify these. So wherever there is basal cell degeneration, the keratin is affected. So you will have alternate bands of keratin, non-keratin, keratin, non-keratin. So that gives rise to this kind of a Wickham striae pattern. So this is a quick revision for lichen planus. There is much more to lichen planus, and most commonly asked questions would be these. So happy studying, best of luck, and keep revising. Thank you.